Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM, we want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SiriusXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artist you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
There's a channel that explodes with gritty guitar texture and perfect pop melodies. SiriusXM Pop Rocks serves up those undeniable 90s anthems, 2K hits, and today's fresh pop finds. Pop Rocks. Turn it up now on Channel 6 and anytime in the all-new SiriusXM app. Get the SiriusXM app and listen on your phone when you get out of the car. Anywhere you take your phone, you can take Howard Stern, NFL Radio, and commercial-free music channels from nearly every genre. Channels vary by subscription plan. You never have to miss your favorite SiriusXM programs or commercial-free music. Find the SiriusXM app in the App Store or call 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/app to find out more.
With the SiriusXM Platinum VIP plan, you can unlock the ultimate listening experience in up to 2 cars and stream anywhere with 2 app logins. Enjoy our greatest content, opportunities for live VIP experiences, and prioritized customer care. Plus, get access to over 5,000 audio and video concert recordings through nugs.net. Call 844-711-8800 and become a VIP. Offer details apply. Not available in Canada.
You gotta get this. There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, I see. You gotta get this. There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, I see. You gotta get this. You gotta get this.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast.
Rondo Deportes, bonjour, Vini Vini Vici, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports, and this is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me, and people who love the universe, and that would include you. It is Black History Month, as I call Black History Day. Today is a beautiful Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them sent you where the good Lord split you. If that makes sense to you, really do appreciate that. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast streaming all around the universe on 29 podcast applications and streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. But you better have a smart TV, or you might be sitting there looking at a still picture. Really do appreciate that. I want to say what I love about doing Big C Sports Podcast. Among many things, I get to breathe. I get to breathe the way I want to breathe. And speaking of breathing the way I want to breathe, I got a little story to tell you. I was walking into a place called called Stario Bucks. I got to change it like McDonald's has changed to McDowell in coming to America. Mine's called Stario Bucks. How about Big C Bucks? You know they give you free water. I'm telling you, not many things are free in today's world, but if you go to Stario Bucks, you can get some free water and tell them it's on Big C. Put it on Big C's account. Just the water, not everything else. But I remember going to get some free water from Starbucks, and they said, "What can we get you, sir?" I said, "How about some ice water?" They said, "What size?" I said, "Grande is good enough." I said, "What I owe you?" And they said, "It's free." I said, "Free?" You know, there must be a trick question. No, free. They give you free water at Stario Bucks. Give Stario Bucks some praise. I get all the free water I can because everything else is so expensive. $3 for a cup of coffee. You got to be kidding me. Spark on the audio blog in mine. Really do appreciate that. You know, I love telling our veterans that you can actually get free water from Stario Bucks. Oftentimes people don't know that, but they don't charge you anything for the water at Stario Bucks. So I want to make sure if you're a veteran and you're thirsty, you're a little bit parched, you can go into Stario Bucks and just ask for free water. They don't even care what size of cup you have. They give it to you free. If you know any veterans going through issues, we have a Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. I'm telling you, pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give us some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. And it's nice leaning on somebody when somebody's leaning back. And that's what I love about Stario Bucks. They give you the free water and you don't even have to pay. But it's nice when you give them a tip. Don't be like some guys and just get the water and don't get no tip. I gave them the free tip. No, it's not a free tip. I gave them a tip for the free water. So wait a minute, they got me. I gave them a tip. I tipped 25 cents for some free water, so I guess it's not free after all, but they do a good job helping people. I love giving Stario Bucks some praise with that. I want to tell you, I'm the only sports show in the universe that talks about reparations every show. I go reparations now, reparations forever, because I know it's going to happen. We have some people coming out yesterday talking about reparations in California, and also telling President Biden, we know you want to get the black vote, called the African American vote, but in order to get that vote, you know, votes are for sale. They're not free like the water at Stario Bucks. I'm going to say it one more time. They're not free like the water at Stario Bucks is free. You can walk into Stario Bucks and ask them for a cup of water, ice water. They'll even put in the ice, and they don't charge you for it. And with the presidential election coming up this November, they're going to be coming around the country asking you for the vote. And you know, the black vote is the most taken advantage of vote that there is. When I go into Stario Bucks and I want some free water, you know, I'm at least kind enough to give them a tip. 25 cents for a free cup of water, ice water. You know, oftentimes the tip we get as descendants of chattel slavery communities of color, 9 series DNA, oftentimes people say, well, thank you. You can't take thank you to the bank. And I want to make sure that I do my part when it comes to Big C Sports Podcast. I'm going to give you the score. I know people want to hear touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way because a lot of us just want to be patted on the back for being big, strong, and fast. That's how they get after us when we're in high school. They want to say, man, you're pretty good size. Do you play football? So, yeah, I play with balls. Been playing with balls all my life for free. So make sure that when they ask you for the vote, ask them a simple question. You can tell them Big C told you. Are you for reparations? Yes or no? Yes or no? Because if you're for reparations, then you get my vote. If you're not for reparations, you don't get my vote. I want to play a song. I ran across it. I didn't run across it. Someone sent it to me last night. An insurance broker friend sent it to me. And it's something that I want to play because it's so powerful. I listened to it. But I want to make sure I cue it up first. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when I come back, I want you to hear what's called the reparations for slavery. I'll be back in just a moment. I want to make sure that I want you to hear this message, because I want to get all the people who pushing reparations all around the country to start talking about it. And with Big C Sports, I'll give you the opportunity. Listen up for about 10 minutes.
I'm blessed. I'm fantastic. I'm happy to be here. Reparations now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when people say reparations now you know me. I interviewed Robin, I think it was 2021, 2022 on the African History Network show when she was still on the City Council of Evanston, Illinois. We'll get into that. And when people say reparations now, my response is reparations how? Because not you, but a lot of these people out here.
I just want to mention up that her name is Robin Rue Simmons, and she's on the AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And she's been interviewed by a great commentator. And I'll let you hear more of their talk coming up with Big C Sports. Before I even get into what they're going to say, there's a reparations anthem. And it came, and I heard it last night. And I want to make sure that I play it in its entirety because it's important. And what I also want to say, and give that some praise, because at a time I thought I was the only person in the universe that was talking about reparations for descendants of childless slavery. But I want you to hear more of her conversation as she's just doing a powerful job of talking about reparations.
City of Evanston, Illinois. She serves as the chairperson of the city's reparations committee, which oversees its initial restorative housing program. It began disbursements in January 2021. Several other governmental entities across the country are actively seeking to follow Evanston's example. So she has since left City Council in Evanston, Illinois, and I wanted to bring her on. We've been talking for the past few months on and off. We were on Roland Martin Unfiltered in 2023 together. I don't even think she knew I was going to be on the show. But I wanted her to come on to give us an update on what's taking place across the country for local reparations initiatives. But also, there is a new reparations anthem that has just been released. So give us an update on all this, Robin. And you can start with the reparations anthem if you want.
Awesome. Well, I'll start with that. I could not be more excited. I had a vision that in the same vein of self-destruction and Fight the Power and even We Are the World, that there would be a collaboration of hip-hop artists to bring forth a reparations anthem and inform, energize in the way that political rap has done for many, many years. I think about my own origin story, being radicalized and, very proud to be Black. It started with Fight the Power. It started with KRS-One and Public Enemy and their art informing my politics. And so we have a reparations anthem. It is called Reparations. It just released on Friday. It's on all streaming platforms. And the artists include Alaz Muhammad, Razcast, who we've all known for many, many years, The Holy Thief, Golden Child, and Supreme Kai. It is produced by Arm Real and Jahi Allah Most High Entertainment. And the song is everything. It sounds amazing. Good. The message is tight. The education is factual.
Tell a friend.
The drums. There's a live violin. There's a live trumpet being played by Alaz, the brother right here who you have on the screen. So please do visit firstrepair.org and you will find the song. You'll learn about all of the artists and the producers. The goals of this song is not for entertainment. Let's say, like KRS-One says, it's edutainment, perhaps, but I really look at it as activism. So please do enjoy
Listen to it coming up from
Download
Big C Sports Podcast.
Everywhere.
I want other podcasters
also, so if you go
to share this message. It's so powerful. It's so powerful.
YouTube page, you'll see a full music video that actually just released today, and all the artists are featured in there as well.
Okay, First Repair YouTube video. So let's play a sample of the
Every radio station in the country should play this song for 2024.
Go ahead.
Before you get into it, can you play a sample of the video? That might be more interesting.
Yeah, I can play a sample of the video.
Okay, and then that way they can see some visuals.
Okay, so the YouTube channel is, what's the YouTube channel?
It should be First Repair on YouTube.
Okay, First Repair on YouTube. So we'll pull that up. Okay. First Repair on YouTube. So people subscribe to this YouTube channel. First Repair, okay, and we see Reparations. We see it right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna bring this up.
This is so powerful for everyone with Big C Sports Podcast. Reparations is going to happen this year.
Can you hear it playing?
Her name is Robin Ruth Simmons, and it's called Reparations Anthem.
Yeah.
Listen up.
Yes.
Here it comes.
We can't see it though.
Here it comes. Okay.
In spite of all the terror, all the harm, all the crimes against our humanity, we have over 400 years of Black resilience. Acknowledge, apologize, repair. This is a call to action.
I told Pharaoh, let my people go. And I feel like Joshua and Jericho. God on our side, so we all in know. Mathematics, Asiatic, actual problematic for savages. We demand an answer for these damages. First you gonna acknowledge, then apologize for real, more than teary eyes. Say it was a Holocaust, own up to the homicide. Ally or you anti, now you gotta pick a side. All colors, all generations. We came for reparation. No debating, we need more legislation. Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparation. No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for reparation.
No debating, we need more legislation. Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparation. No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for reparations. We the fruit of what our ancestors prayed for. First generation college graduates and homeowners. You look deeply at the roots and you see way more. History literally getting combed over. USD is an incomplete remedy. You ain't got enough denominations in your treasury to bring back to form all the souls that were taken. Spirits bring to life through these phrases. We came for reparations.
100% profit. Slavery abolished. Do Jim Crow, red line. Blackballed knowledge. The world draws was a war on blacks. And if you speak truth to power, then you under attack financially. You reparated Israel, Native Americans. Past due, you reparated me. You reparated Japanese interns, but you designated we, the people who built this country, never really set us free.
No debating, we need more legislation. Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparation. No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for reparation.
No debating, we need more legislation. Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparation. No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for reparation.
400 years of oppression is built on how we heal. Placing law, policies, police try to demolish me. Cause of my godly biology. So let's factor, first repair. Power the economy, black unity, solidarity. Not asking for handouts or charity. But how can we overcome disparity? Reparations.
No debating, we need more legislation.
Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparations.
No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for reparation.
No debating, we need more legislation. Worldwide got the people saying we demand reparation. No debating, we need more legislation.
For independence, this is a declaration. We came for
golden
reparation.
I see the vision like I was looking through an eye. It's time we get paid. Need my piece of the pie. We want reparations. No more segregations. Talking 40 acres. Now that's a celebration. On the back of the bus, I'm feeling just like Rosa. For my ancestors, look amongst us. For my children's children, I walk like Moses. We the people, God bless the chosen.
Is that amazing? Is that amazing on Big C Sports Podcast? It's called the Reparations Anthem. And I'm so grateful that with Big C Sports, I want to promote other artists, as I've been asking for entertainers and also actors, African Americans, to focus on reparations and not just who won a game. We love touchdown, home run, three-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. But we are more than that, and that's why I love bringing it to you with Big C Sports Podcast. I don't want to be the only one, and now I see that I'm not the only one. So I want to give that some praise, and maybe more and more people can think about that we do deserve a repair. Even if you're anti-human rights, you know that you can't make people work for free. And you're not allowed to steal their inheritance. It's called a crime when you embezzle money from someone. When you have a whole people that worked from 1619 to 1865, they could not get health insurance, life insurance, they couldn't get a loan, they couldn't do anything but work and die. And that's a shame. And I've been calling for our great actors like Spike Lee, the great director, a great actor like Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, all these great, wonderful people that want to go to the Oscars and wonder why we don't get awards. And then you have people like Senator Bradford, California Senator Bradford, who's fighting for reparations for descendants of child slavery. And I, with Big C Sports, co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project, I'm doing my part. I was sent something by Brother Aleem, also co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project.com here in Northern California. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But when I let you hear what I'm going to play, you just heard the Reparations Anthem. This all came out of a man that's greater than all of us. No matter how great we are, we have a man who did everything he could to bring about liberty and justice for everybody. When reparations happen, it will stimulate the American economy because the black dollar is very powerful, or the African American dollar is very powerful. But if we keep pretending that we just want to play sports and we're only good enough for being in a stadium and playing with balls. I've been playing with balls my whole life. But it's more important than just playing with balls. The United States will benefit when reparations are passed because the descendants of child slavery will spend a lot of money to stimulate this economy by creating business, which is what I'm doing with the RDC team and with Resource Development Consulting Inc. And we have a guide to protect, preserve, and transfer wealth through long-term care solutions by the book. Over 3 decades ago, civil rights signed into law by President Lyndon Baines Johnson. You know who was right there with him? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so what I say with why the RDC is your family can avoid the spin down for California for nursing home costs. You can find out your options. We specialize to navigate and maximize long-term care benefits. That's our promise to you. We also promise to protect your assets, if that makes sense to you. You got to make sure that you protect all of your assets without a spin down in California. Because if you don't protect your assets, believe me, the government will come looking for your assets, if that makes sense to you. All paperwork and communications with all government agencies are handled by our staff of entitlement specialists. Ongoing consulting to provide updates as necessary. Benefits covering nursing, skilled nursing facilities, prescription medical equipment cost, and more. Because with RDC, we want to help you protect your assets, if that makes sense to you. You say, Aflac? No. Aflac is gap insurance. That's with the duck. We're trying to protect your assets, if that makes sense to you. Now, some people say I have a speech impediment, and maybe I do. But if you have someone to protect your assets, you're going to be a lot better than people who don't, including your home. They're about allowing you to leave a legacy for your family, avoiding the nightmare of debt brought by the government's estate recovery program. That could be up to 40%. You don't think they come after your assets, if that makes sense to you? Well, RDC, we can help you. A one-time processing fee versus monthly insurance premiums for the rest of your life. Give that some praise as I bring on the #1 speaker in the history of the universe, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Listen to what he said to all of us. It's so important, it's so powerful. When you talk about reparations, you just heard the Reparations National Anthem, and I want you to hear what Dr. King actually had to say for all of us.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
You got to give that some praise. That's what I love about Big C Sports. If you say you love Dr. King, there's no way you can listen to that speech and not understand that reparations are due. That's why I say reparations now, reparations forever. That's important to me. I want to make sure that I do my part and making sure that we get that message across. This is what I love about Big C Sports Podcast. I can't do it all, but I can do a lot. And the fact that I've been doing it, I'm just asking people to do the same thing. Get the message out there. It's going to happen this year, but we got to make it happen. Either be the hammer or the nail. I like being the hammer. If that makes sense to you, don't worry about who's for you. If God is for you, who can be against you? I want to say I'm the only sports show in the universe that pays homage to the California Reparations Task Force, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. If you can stand behind an athlete that says touchdown, home run, 3-point play, old man Willie, he's going all the way. I'm going to do some of that too. But that doesn't feed our future generations. I want to give praise to the California Reparations Task Force, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I want to give praise to the chair, and I met them all. The chair, Camila Moore, she's brilliant. She's an attorney that specializes in reparative justice. Also, Dr. Amy C. Brown, he's the vice chair. He's brilliant. Really do appreciate him. I met him going into a Fixins restaurant. As I said many times, I was going in fixing to tear up some collard greens. And as I was coming out of the Fixins restaurant, that I believe is owned by former NBA great Kevin Johnson, those greens were good, and I like the chicken and waffles. And then I saw a man get out of the car, and it was Mr. Brown. I said, Mr. Brown. He said, Mr. Curry. I said, what are you doing, young man? He said, I'm fixing to go in and tear up some collard greens. I said, well, they might have a couple left. You might have to scrub the bucket, because I was tearing up like 3 or 4 plates. But we both love collard greens. And then I want to give praise to the #1 senator in the United States of America, California Senator Stephen Bradford. Met him many times at the Reparations Task Force and also in his office. You know, he sponsored Name, Image, and Likeness to help college student athletes get paid for the name, image, and likeness. He also helped create the Ebony Alert that helps law enforcement put the same amount of resources into finding missing black children as the Amber Alert puts into finding missing white children. Reparations is important. He's part of the Reparations Task Force. I love giving him praise. I'm going to give praise to Council Member Monica Montgomery Steppe. She's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I'm going to give praise to Assembly Member Reginald Jones Sawyer. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I'm going to give praise to Dr. Shell Grills. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I'm going to give praise to our attorney, Lisa Holder. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Javon Scott Lewis. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. And I want to give praise to our attorney, Donald K. Tamaki, part of the California Reparations Task Force. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. As a Japanese American, he also receives reparations. I want to thank This Is CNN, proud sponsors of Big C Sports. I want to give praise to Double O. She's the PR committee for the National Black Wall Street Project. Has her own talk show. She sent me Executive Order 13985 that was signed by President Biden his first day in office on further advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. That's the White House. I love giving her praise for that. I want to give praise to Senators Marco Rubio and Mr. Rick Scott. Republicans out of Florida, they reintroduced a bill to restore Holocaust survivors' rights in Congress in 2023. I want to thank Georgetown University because they pledged over $1 billion in counting for reparations for 272 descendants of chattel slavery that were sold. They were sold off to pay off the debts for Georgetown. Would you sell your kids to pay off your debt? I said, would you sell your own children to pay off your debt? Well, some of you probably would, because Georgetown did. Just when you say, oh, I would never sell a person to pay off a debt. Well, the United States of America did to descendants of chattel slavery. They were selling, raping, murdering, lynching black people with impunity. And now you have a day in 2024 before the next presidential election to pay reparations. I'm going to give Double O some praise. Payout Committee for the National Black Wall Street Project. She also has a talk show. And she sent me this article from the United Nations. It says strong leadership and political will are crucial to ensure reparatory justice for descendants and people of African descent. That's United Nations. I want to thank T-Mobile, proud sponsors of America's Big C Sports Podcast, America's largest 5G network. I want to thank PNC Private Bank, proud sponsors of the Big C Sports Podcast. I want $6 billion. And I'm not shucking it down, but I do want $6 billion, and they can give it to me. I just got to say that to you, because I'm going to get into something that was sent to me by brother Aleem Shabazz, who also owns Crescent Sports Media, and he's part of the California National Black Wall Street Project out of California. He sent me this article that came out today, February 27th. It is Black History Month. And if I could get our other brethren, black brethren, and white brethren too, only good people, the only requirement to be a part of reparations is you gotta have a good conscience. You have a good conscience? You gotta want to be egalitarian. What's egalitarian, Big C? Google it. You want to be egalitarian, treat everybody fair. The same way when you go to work and you put in a hard day's work, you wanna get your money, don't you? If you have ancestry that passes away, you have a life insurance policy. If you're named as a beneficiary of that policy, and we help you with that with Resource Development Consulting Inc., with the RDC team, the Big C team, as a national correspondent and also national business development consultant. If you are named as a beneficiary to a life insurance policy, would you want the money or would you want someone to steal it? The Homestead Act of 1862. United States government gave away over 300 million acres of land to white people and even white Europeans. You know what they gave? You know what they gave black Americans, descendants of child slavery? You take a guess. Come on, take a guess. What do you think they gave black Americans that worked this land from 1619 to 1865? What they give them? They gave them nothing. So today, San Francisco, California, is ready to apologize to black residents, reparations advocates. They want more. Reverend Amos Brown, I just talked about, spoke during a rally in support of reparations for African Americans as Supervisor Shannon Walton was listening in City Hall. That was back in 2023. Guess what happened today in San Francisco? By Janie Hart, the Associated Press. She interviewed me back in 2023. It was March 30th about reparations. It says San Francisco supervisors plan to offer a formal apology to black residents for decades of racist laws and policies perpetuated by the city. A long-awaited first step as it considers providing reparations. This is February 27th, 2024. So the San Francisco Board of Supervisors is scheduled to vote Tuesday, which is today, on the resolution apologizing to African Americans and their descendants. All 11 members have signed on as sponsors, guaranteeing its passage. It will be one of the first major United States cities to do so. And the resolution calls for San Francisco to not repeat the harmful policies and practices and commit to making substantial ongoing systemic and investments in black communities. There are about 46,000 African American residents in San Francisco, about 6% of the city's population. An apology from the city is very concrete and is not just symbolic. It's admitting fault, and that's a major step in making amends. Supervisor Shannon Walton, the only black member of the board and chief proponent of the reparations, said at a committee hearing on the resolution earlier this month. Others say the apology is insufficient in its own for true atonement, and I agree. They made money. They need to pay money. Free housing, no taxes, free land. Put that money back in the bank account through annuities. Even if they said we're going to give you $1 million, but it's going to be through an annuity or paid out for the rest of your life, for as long as slavery lasted, for every descendant of child slavery. Because an apology is just cotton candy. It's rhetoric. The Reverend Amos C. Brown, a member of the San Francisco Reparations Advisory Committee, that proposed the apology among other recommendations. See, other recommendations. When the media came out and said they're talking about $5 million for every San Francisco resident The mainstream media, they scoffed at that. They say, you can't treat black Americans the way we treated people of the Holocaust and their heirs. That's what they said. They said, you can't treat black Americans the way we treated the white soldiers that came back with the GI Bill. You can't give black Americans what we did with the Marshall Plan that rebuilt Europe. Let's just give them an apology. No, if you steal something from somebody, you go to court, you get punitive damages. And so what is needed is concrete action. An apology would be the first reparations recommendation to be realized of more than 100 proposals the city committee has made. The African American Reparations Advisory Committee also proposed that every eligible African American adult receive a $5 million lump sum cash payment and a guaranteed income of nearly $100,000 a year to remedy San Francisco's deep racial wealth gap. And for people that argue against that, there's not one white American that family bequeathed to them land through the Homestead Act. Not one wants to give it back. Not one of them says, you know what, let me turn in all that money I made from land in the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest, that was given to only white people and white Europeans through the United States Homestead Act of 1862. They won't give it back. But there's been no action on those other proposals. Mayor London Breed, who is African American, has stated she believes reparations should be handled at the national level. Facing a budget crunch, see, they talk about money. The United States would never run out of money. If the United States broke, quit trying to give another $60 billion to the Ukraine after giving them $100 billion. There's money for Israel and the Ukraine. If we're broke, how you giving them money? Money's fiat currency. People know that. But when it comes to black Americans, we got a budget deficit. The military was just funded $800 billion. The military. I thought we didn't have any money. Money's fiat currency. We got to understand it's so powerful. So reparations advocates, and if we could get our athletes to start doing what these entertainers have just done, as I played on the first part of Big C Sports Podcast, it's so powerful. A reparations anthem. Reparations advocates at the previous hearing expressed frustration at the slow pace of government action, saying that African American residents continue to lag in metrics and related to health, education, and income. African Americans, for example, make up 38% of San Francisco's homeless population. 38%? 38% of the homeless population in San Francisco, despite being less than 6% of the general population. 6%! It's by design, people. Some people call it genocide. Some people call it Malthusian. When the population is too big, you need war or famine to minimize the population outside of incarceration. This is important. California became the first state in the nation to create a task force on reparations. The state committee was dissolved in 2023. Also offered numerous policy recommendations, including methodologies to calculate cash payments to descendants of enslaved people. But reparations bill introduced by the California Legislative Black Caucus this year also leave out financial redress, although the package includes proposals to compensate people whose land the government seized through eminent domain, create a state reparations agency, ban forced prison labor, and issue an apology. We need more than an apology. We need the same thing descendants of Holocaust got. They got more than an apology. Would you believe in 2022, Boston, Massachusetts, which is a Commonwealth, became the first major city in the United States to issue an apology? The same year, the Boston City Council voted to form a reparations task force. That's Boston. Give that some praise. As we're busy voting and offering apologies, United Nations and United States, I got to tell you this, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you might think I'm just talking. But as I say with Big C Sports Podcast, if you can't Google what I'm saying, then don't listen to me. Because it's more important than who won a game. And that's what we're all focused on. Who won a game? Big C, who won the game last night? If we get our same intelligent black men and women to at least pay a little bit of respect to our ancestry and making sure that they get what was promised to them but was stolen by the government and given to white people only. Just because our ancestry worked from cradle to grave didn't mean they didn't produce goods and services. Only white people benefited from it. Not one of those white families that benefited offered to give it back. Not one. Ask them. Ask them where the land came from. Oh, I worked hard for it. You were given it. You were given it. And so decent people, they want to do the right thing. Before I get into some sports, because I'm so passionate about this, for those of you who think, we don't have enough money for reparations, Google Survivors Today Act of 2017. Google it. Survivors Today Act of 2017. The Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Today Act of 2017 is United States legislation that requires the State Department to report to Congress on steps that 47 countries in Europe have taken to compensate Holocaust survivors and their heirs for assets seized by Nazi Germany and post-war communist governments. I thought we didn't have the money. When it comes to black folks, we don't have the money. But right now, the Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Today Act of 2017, that's 7 years ago, is United States legislation that requires the State Department to report to Congress on steps that 47 countries in Europe have taken to compensate Holocaust survivors. And we give it praise. We're asking for the same treatment. There's no way you can say we don't have a way to do that for descendants of child slavery. Not when you follow Big C Sports. So it's about good people. It's about doing the right thing. Just like when I do work with RDC and trying to get brokers, over 1,000 insurance agents and brokers all over the country, to help with a guide to protect, preserve, and transfer wealth. We learn to protect people's assets, if that makes sense to you. I want to do that with the best of my ability because I believe in helping people. And with NationalBlackWallStreetProject.com, go to NationalBlackWallStreetProject.com, NationalBlackWallStreetProject.com. You can register for free. Because as I've been talking about reparations for 5 years now, you see San Francisco today came out talking about an apology. That's just the beginning of many proposals. It doesn't stop with an apology. There has to be compensation the same way you get paid when you cast in your pay stub. And decent people know that. I don't want to be just a shucking and jiving show. If we could just get some of our beautiful, intelligent black men and women to start telling their beautiful, intelligent, decent white people, friends, and employers, do you believe in doing the right thing? That's a yes or no question. And some people are going to say, hell no! But many people will say yes. Will you support California Senator Stephen Bradford in getting reparations passed? He has a legislation right now in the California legislature called SB 490 to create Freedman's Bank. That's the bank that pays out reparations. It's a step in the right directions. And I want to say you can Google Charlton Curry, Associated Press, NBC News, CBS News, California reparations amount. March 30, 2023, said Charlton Curry of Sacramento, California, who discusses reparations on his Big C Sports podcast, that cash payments are necessary, that money talks. How did God have her call me? You got to give that some praise. So, of course, I love sports. But I don't like dumb guys. Men or women. We got to be smart enough to realize that we got to do the right thing by people. I just want to do the best I can. And making sure that I do what I can, that while God gives me the opportunity to speak to decent people. There's no division in doing the right thing for people. What I do with the Big C Sports Podcast, I broadcast all the shows, I direct the topics. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We could all use more laughter in our lives. I know I can use more laughter. And then the commercials are done. The stats provided. I do the storytelling. I do the play-by-play. My play-by-play now is not touchdown, home run, three-point play. Old man Willie, he's going all the way. My play-by-play now is reparations now, reparations forever. That's my play-by-play. And then the show's uploaded to 29 podcast platforms out of New York City. And I'm in San Francisco, California, Bay Area, Northern California. And then it goes out to 4 TV platforms streaming: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. So I love doing that. I want to also give praise to Tony Harvey, the California Black Media, advocating for Black Americans or African Americans in California. And what is California Black Media? California Black Media is a trusted advocate. They circle more than 30 media outlets across California. It facilitates communication among members of the black press, and provides unique opportunities for collaboration and coordination. I really do appreciate that. More than 30 independent Black-owned media outlets working to serve California's African-American communities. In fact, Mr. Harvey came to the meeting, the RDC meeting yesterday, a guide to protect, preserve, and transfer wealth, Resource Development Consulting, Inc., a long-term care solutions by the book, over 3 decades of experience with the great Ray Dela Cruz, in conjunction with the law office of Scott Thibodeau and George Jones, great attorneys in California. So I want to do that part and give that praise. You know anybody looking for work? 800-772-8624. 800-772-8624. My goal, you can mock my words if you hear me talk. My goal was to get over 1,000 agents this year. It's already happened in 2024, the month of February. Give that some praise. I can't do it on my own. God is my source. I'm just speaking and praising. So California Black Media that interviewed me yesterday and about RDC and asset protection. They also interviewed Double O for her financial awareness program that she has. And then also Ray Dela Cruz for RDC. I just want to give that a lot of praise. We're doing the best we can to get people back to work and create economic opportunity. What did Two Live Cruz say back in the day? He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That wasn't Two Live Cruz. That was John F. Kennedy, you see? Okay, but Two Live Cruz said the same thing. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And so we have over 3 decades of experience in educating families and communities on the importance of long-term care planning. 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. Give Big C Sports some praise. And so, as I say, I'm going to touch on some sports too. But imagine when our beautiful, intelligent athletes realizing that instead of being taken advantage of and losing everything, what if they learn to protect their assets, if that makes sense to you? And that's what I want to do with the Big C team. I want to make sure that people have that. You know, before I get into a little bit of sports, I learned every day is Black History Day because all life began on the African continent. But there are grants. The NAACP believes in the power of Black entrepreneurship. And we partner with several organizations to provide grants for Black-owned businesses. And the grants called Keep It Local Business Fund, NAACP and Leslie Certification Boost Grant, NAACP and Bacardi Backing the Bar. It's as amazing. NAACP and Bay Good, Black-owned Small Business Impact Fund grants recipient, PowerShift Entrepreneur Grants, and the 2021 NAACP and Bacardi Backing the Bar grant recipients. Less than 5% of African American business owners, think about that. 5% of American business owners are African American. Amid a pandemic that sent our economy into free fall, many Black-owned businesses need more access to capital and funding than ever before. We even offer unsecured funding. 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. If you have 4 monthly bank statements, if you average minimum $5,000 a month in revenue, and you've been in business 6 months, you know you can qualify for some funding, unsecured. 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624. So we partner with organizations such as Be Good, Vista Print, and the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation, Diversity Capital, Hello Alice, and many more support Black entrepreneurship and the businesses that have been hit the hardest as a result of COVID-19 and social uprising. You got to understand the PowerShift Entrepreneurs Grant. The NAACP PowerShift Entrepreneurs Grant aims to empower Black entrepreneurs and businesses through funding and resources, and has in previous years contributed largely to the growth of Black businesses across the nation. And all rising and established Black entrepreneurs are encouraged to apply for the PowerShift Entrepreneur Grant, and businesses selected will receive a $25,000 grant along with resources as tools to propel their futures. You got to give Big C Sports some praise. I tell you, I'm not just shucking and jiving. You learn more about what's going on in real life and not just who won a game. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But as I will tell you, as I do this too, it's so important if we could just get our beautiful, intelligent Black men and women to ask their beautiful, intelligent white men and women, no matter what color you are, we're all egalitarian. Do you believe in doing the right thing? We all need more leader in our life. Leader is an acronym for love is the answer. We all need more leader in our life. As I talk about NBA basketball, imagine when our beautiful black intelligent players start standing up like the entertainers that I played on the front part of Big C Sports Podcast and start talking about reparations. Boston maintains its lead as number one, while the Oklahoma City and the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets and Milwaukee Bucks are among the teams that climbed in Big C's NBA power rankings this week. And when you think about the teams that I think are great for this year, at least it could change weekly though, because most teams play at least 3 games a week. There are 5 teams picked to win the 2024 NBA Finals, and about 70% of the way through the schedule, you can eliminate any of the 5. But as you think about these teams that are there year after year, the Denver Nuggets, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Phoenix Suns, they needed to start playing better as soon as possible. Now, the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks, they've answered the call, going to combine 5-0 last week with road wins over the Timberwolves, the 76ers, and the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Suns, not so much, though. They're about Bradley Beal and they did get a needed win over the Lakers on Sunday. With the league's toughest remaining schedule, there's going to be more opportunities for Phoenix, or maybe even more roadblocks in their quest to remain a top seed in the Western Conference. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from OKC, he's a dominant player. He was plus 76 in 3 games last week, and you gotta look at what he's done. The teams of the week, if you want to think about it, Milwaukee went 2-0 last week. If you count the All-Star game, Doc Rivers has won 3 straight. Just something to think about when you think about how good that Milwaukee team can be. And when I go back to East versus Western Conference, the West is 171 wins to 133 losses against the East in a conference games, though the East was 6-4 last week. The strength of schedule, you look at Memphis, their tough strength of schedule. Also, Golden State and Portland. The easiest strength of schedule, you got to look at Phoenix, you got to go to Cleveland, and also Philadelphia. And when I think about these teams that can make a big name for themselves, teams to watch, it's the Light the Beam team, the Sacramento Kings. They're always trying to light the beam. They got the beam shut down last night by the Miami Heat. But going back to their last game before they lost to the Heat, the Kings that won 3 straight, beating the Nuggets and the Clippers on the road. They climbed to 5th place in the West, and staying there would be tough, especially with the games against the Heat that they lost last night and a rest disadvantage on Monday, and then the Nuggets in Denver again on Wednesday, and the Timberwolves in Minnesota on Friday. Now, they lost to Miami, but they'll probably beat either Denver or Minnesota. I don't think they're going to get swept to that. Mike Brown's defense is too. Their defense has got to get better, but their offense is strong. And then last week, you look at the Celtics lead. The Wolves surged after the All-Star weekend. And I look at some of these great teams that are always there making noise. You know Boston's going to be there. They're just going to be there because they are always there in the Eastern Conference. I'm more surprised that the Clippers lost to the Kings because they had beaten them earlier in Sacramento, but went down south and they put a lot of energy on the floor, and maybe that's why they didn't have their legs under them against the Miami Heat last night. But that's okay. That's the way the ball bounces. But more and more, if we get some of our top teams and some of the leaders of our teams to start championing reparations, because you got your money already. But what can we do to help the diaspora of African Americans to get what was promised to us? Through President Abraham Lincoln, 40 acres and a mule. You know, Freedmen's Bank was created in 1865 so that descendants of child slavery would have a place to put their money. And imagine now in 2024, any person that calls themselves African American or any kind of American, no matter what you are you fair? Are you fair? If you're fair, then you got to champion for reparations. It's the right thing to do. If you think it's okay to get paid for your labor, then how do you not champion for reparations? If you believe that a beneficiary of a life insurance policy should be the one that actually receives the money that's paid out through the insurance policy, how do you stand up and say no to reparations? For anyone that received that homestead grant, the homestead land in 1862, the United States government gave it to your families. and you took that money, you took that land, you went to the bank, you got a loan, you created business, you built housing, you farmed on it, you invested it, they gave Black Americans nothing. And now you want to stand on some type of false laurel and say, well, we don't need to pay no reparations, then there's no money in the country. There will always be money in America. America's money is fiat currency. If you get the right people doing the right thing, reparations will happen in 2024. And for President Biden, I know he's going to go around stomping and asking for the black vote. How are you going to ask for the black vote after you've given Ukraine $100 million, actually $100 billion, and now you're trying to get them another $60 billion? Ukraine's not going to vote for you to become the next president of the United States. You got to know that. And we all know that's true. It's so important. If you're looking for work in the United States, the Big C team, follow through Big C Sports, business development consultant with RDC Incorporated, endorsed by the California Department of Aging, the California Black Chamber of Commerce, and the National Black Wall Street Project.com co-chair. You got to give that some praise. I want to make sure that it's more than just who won a game. That's why I love doing Big C Sports Podcast. You can't say that you didn't hear about it when you follow Big C Sports Podcast. I want to thank Double O, Payout Committee for the National Black Wall Street Project for the article she sent me. I want to thank Brother Aleem Shabazz, co-chair, Northern California chapter of the National Black Wall Street Project, sent me the article on San Francisco Ready and apologizes to black residents. Apologies is a good start, but we know money is necessary. Land's necessary. Housing is necessary. Healthcare is necessary. Everything that was robbed from our people is necessary. It's all necessary. And we know that the good people are going to do the right thing. When you do the right thing, there's no pain in it. If you do the wrong thing, there's a lot of pain in that. That's why doing the right thing is important. And we know that's true. That's why I'm just so happy to say reparations are necessary for descendants of child slavery. We're going to get our athletes behind it next, and our entertainers too. You heard it first on Big C Sports Podcast. As I always tell you, I love what I do, but I can't do it on my own. It takes good people to do the right thing. Give good people doing the right thing some praise. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports Podcast, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Because mothers against drunk drivers are mad, and fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can walk it off, you can sleep it off. But don't let some of your loves get behind the wheel of a car and start driving after they've been drinking. The life you save may be your own, or some of your love. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. As I always tell you, my beautiful mother always says there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to deal with that garbage on their own. If somebody's going beside your head, that's not love. You need more leader in your life. Leader is love as the answer. It's an acronym. Anyone that loves you, they won't put their hands on you. If they do, pick up the phone, call 911. People change when the police show up. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, back by popular demand, back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. Every time I listen to Big C Sports, I want to say reparations now, reparations forever. And then I float like a butterfly, and I sting like a bee. As I always tell you, always try to do the right thing. It's not always easy, but it is the right thing. I love giving praise to my beautiful family, my great-grandmother, to my great-grandfathers, my grandmothers, my beautiful mother, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. I love my mama with all my heart, mind, body, and soul, the best person I ever met in my life. And I'm telling you, I really do appreciate everything that I've come through. And my beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always making sure planes can fly high so we can all stay safe at night. My beautiful brother Todd, with that bombastic voice, sound like thunder and lightning when top of speak. Always saying go forward. Reparations leader. I love Todd with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. College graduate, 2 degrees with honors, and 3.5 years from a major university. Set up the very first interview for Big C Sports back in the day at Salem Media. It became the first time in the history of the United States of America that NFL Monday Night Football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network is because of two black men in the crew. Shenanigans set in the show went away. But I'm still standing better than I ever did. And I love saying that. Daisy, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Always praise God. Isaiah 54:17. That no weapon formed against you will prosper. You can be anything you want to be. And my beautiful, handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College student, very smart, erudite, a good man. Always trust God. Isaiah 54:17. Malcolm helped me save trees. I used to always get newspapers to look at the stats on players and teams for Big C Sports Podcast. One day, Malcolm said, "Dad, why you just Google it?" And a light bulb went off. I've been Googling ever since. And then one day, Malcolm said, "Dad, do you want to see Big C Sports on TV?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Pick up the remote, aim it at the TV, and say, 'Play Big C Sports.' You'll see a show pop up." That's before it was even on the air. And now it's streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Malcolm, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. Always trust God and always believe. I love you with all I have. And then Big C, all that wealth of knowledge over the years, always saying, you got to believe, saying, let's get ready to rumble. I love saying welcome to the show. As we nominated Big C Sports Podcast, I have no scripts. I have no 3-way teleprompter. I have no producer in my ear. I do my show with my higher self. And I love doing it. And I thank everybody for sharing the word that reparations now, reparations forever. And this is when I always honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and President Abraham Lincoln. They're telling President Biden right now, sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. Come on, you just said you cheer louder at a sports game. What did Dr. King and President Abraham Lincoln tell President Biden to do? They said, sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. Oh, come on, you cheer louder at the Super Bowl. What did they tell President Joe Biden to do? Dr. King and President Abraham Lincoln said, sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a super fantastic day.